So my main YouTube channel is close to hitting 50,000 subscribers, and this is a feat I'm particularly proud of because in hindsight, I now realise just how difficult it is to get YouTube to help you to actually build up an audience for the content that you create. So one thing I thought I could do was start up a second YouTube channel and see if a lot of these lessons I've been learning over the last few years are actually meaningful for new creators. Well, that's exactly what I've been doing for the last few months, and since January it's something I've started taking a little more seriously. Well, actually, we've got a slight advantage when it comes to setting up a YouTube channel at this point, because the analytics that YouTube gives creators so they can see where their channel's performing, where it's underperforming, these are so much more powerful and in-depth than what we had a few years ago when I first set up my gaming channel. First thing I do want to very briefly show you, though, if we go over to the Reach tab, is that I haven't been cheating. I haven't just begged my 50,000 subscribers to come and give me a load of views over here. Even though I brought a few people across from my main YouTube channel, that actually accounts for less than 2% of my traffic sources for views on this channel. The vast bulk of the views I've been getting, the traffic that has been coming over here, has been thanks to the YouTube algorithm and sources related to it. So YouTube search, browse features, recommended videos. I'm pretty much in the same situation in terms of trying to build up an audience here as you guys are, because that's what I wanted to try and achieve with this channel. As of this day, I've currently uploaded 18 videos. That's 8 since last year. I did so sporadically throughout 2020, and then January this year, so for the last couple of weeks or so, I've been taking things a little bit more seriously. Now, one thing you'll notice is that a lot of the videos I've uploaded so far are not really related to one another. You may have heard that it's very important to focus in on a niche, know what it is you want to make videos about and stick to it. And that is very true, but not initially in my opinion. In my opinion, you need to start to get a handle as to what works and what doesn't work, and your channel will carve its own niche if you do things correctly. And you can see that the different categories of videos have different views. I've had more success with some things than I have with others. And this is really going to help you to just identify what it is your niche is going to be, you know, and that is what you can hone in on. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. So for the last few weeks, I've started, for example, to upload drone videos. I'm sure some of you folks have watched them, and thank you for those that have. And I can see that these are fairly popular. A lot of people are watching these. So, you know, this has started to perhaps hone a niche in for my channel. I picked up a drone for Christmas, and people seem to want to watch this stuff. And that's something that I think a lot of new YouTubers really need to understand. Yes, you've got to identify your niche, but identifying your niche isn't a simple case of, this is what my niche is going to be, I've decided, and YouTube is going to work for me. So the first lesson is to experiment with your niche with a new channel. Don't just go in all guns blazing thinking, this is what I'm going to make videos on and I'm going to build up an audience here. It might not work. Try a few different things. See which begins to gain the most traction. Things you enjoy, of course, but don't just think you can focus on one thing in particular, because YouTube might have other ideas about that. Now, regardless of what topic you choose to create a video on, if you want YouTube to promote that video, there are going to be two key areas you really need to focus on. The first is searchability, and the second is watch time. Both of those are absolutely vital. Let's go ahead and go into the analytics of one of my drone videos here. And yes, this may be a good topic, but let me tell you, there are plenty of YouTubers uploading videos on this same topic that are simply not getting views. Not because their content is any more inferior to mine, but because they're not using the right searchability or focusing on watch time where it matters. So, searchability first of all. If we go over to details here for this video, you can see I've got a title, I've got a description, and I've got tags. Very, very basic stuff. I hope that you're all, you know, filling those things out and taking them fairly seriously. But, and this is something I had to learn myself as a new YouTuber, and something you will have to learn if you haven't already, you cannot take popular keywords, put those in your title, and expect YouTube to actually care. It won't, okay? When you've got big boys in your niche, and let me tell you, you have, that are getting thousands of views, millions of subscribers, or whatever the case may be, YouTube is going to be prioritizing those on all of the popular search terms that people are using about the topic that you're uploading on. For example, and this is just a brief example, I could do a lot better here than I already have done. This drone video is specifically about the DJI Mini 2. Now, of course, I've got the keyword drone in here, but I also expect that anybody that's searching for drone videos is not going to see mine anywhere. It's just not going to pop up. So I've used DJI Mini 2 instead. But what we're going to learn is that even that is not specific enough. Now, I'm going to be using a tool here, a browser extension. You might be familiar with it. And this is a keyword explorer tool as part of TubeBuddy. So we're going to activate that now. I'll leave a link where you can download this. I'm using the free version, which is all you need to use this particular tool. And this will actually tell us how good the specific keyword is to use for the searchability of a video that we've uploaded. Now, if I type in the keyword DJI Mini 2, and we'll explore this, we can see that the overall score is poor. In other words, that's a poor keyword to use. Now, it's sort of important to use because that's what my video is about, but I need to increase the range of that keyword. I need to add more to it. So, what I can see here is that there are other keywords that expand DJI Mini 2 that I might be able to focus on instead. So for example, I could have DJI Mini 2 footage, and if I explore that keyword, so we'll type that in and select explore here, we can see that's actually much better. TubeBuddy is saying that that is a good keyword. Why? Because the search volume is still excellent, but more importantly, the competition is far less than it was for just DJI Mini 2. So as you can see as well, if I just pop over back to my channel, because that's a good keyword, I've actually got it in all of my DJI Mini 2 video titles. I've got it in this one here. I've got it in this one here. All of them are using that specific keyword in the title and in the tags DJI Mini 2 footage. I should have that in the description as well, because good keywords you want to get in as much as possible. I could even do a better job than I've already done. Now, if I type that keyword back in, DJI Mini 2, footage. There we go. As we saw, that received a good result. A little bit bugged there, sorry about that. But we could also expand that further. If we put 4K in, which is another suggestion, and then explore this specific keyword, this is very good. This is even better than what I was using before. The search volume is a little lower. That's absolutely fine. The competition is even better from our perspective. And for that reason, this is an even better keyword to use. And you can also search for other keywords to include in your description that are, having a very good score, and your tags. But really try and hone in on one specific keyword, the best one that is relevant to your topic that you can use in your title. As a brief summary so far then, you need to experiment before honing in on a specific niche. Make sure you're finding a topic that works for you. And then once you've done that, you need to really be focused on more specific keywords that are not too short, that are not going to be any good for a new channel. Now then, we get to number 3. Okay, you may have heard this before. If not, you're about to, and that is that watch time is king. This is so important to growing a sustained YouTube channel. YouTube, believe it or not, want people on their website. They want people watching videos. And if you start to attract an audience because YouTube are promoting your videos to that audience, and those people are going to come and watch for 3 or 4 seconds and click off again, you're going to fall out of YouTube's graces very, very easily. If we go to my latest video, I uploaded this a few hours ago, or made it live a few hours ago, I should say. We'll go to the analytics here, and we want to head over to the reach tab. And, not reach tab, sorry, the engagement tab. And what we can see here are 2 tabs, the watch time in hours and the average view duration. This is what's really important. If we just pop over very briefly to the overview, we can see that YouTube is promoting this video. I'm not bringing these views in by sharing on social media or asking my other, subscribers from another channel. I haven't done anything like that. This is solely from YouTube. Look, YouTube recommendations and YouTube search is where these views are coming from. Why is that? First of all, because I use those good searchable terms, DJI Mini 2 footage. That was the keyword I focused on. But also, I've made the video in a way that's going to keep people's attention. Look, the average view duration is 7 minutes and 2 seconds. Now, is that brilliant? No, not really. It could be better. But in terms of a view duration, 40 to 60% is something you really want to be aiming for, and that is certainly within that range. And because it's within that range, YouTube are happy to keep promoting this video. That's what they're doing. Now, even with good keywords that I've used, if people were coming to this video and clicking off because it wasn't interesting for them, I promise you, this graph here, the views graph, it would tail off very quickly and YouTube would give up on this video. They would not care about it. But because watch time is king, and I've managed to get a decent average view duration so that the average person that's watching this video is watching at least 7 minutes, YouTube likes that, they're promoting that video to more people. Now, it is absolutely true that as a new YouTube channel, or as a small YouTube channel, maybe you've had your channel for some time, but it just hasn't grown, we are at a somewhat disadvantage. We really are, because we're not trusted by YouTube yet. We have to build that trust up, and it does take time. But as you can see, even with a new channel, with one that's only got 18 videos on it, it is very possible to start doing the right things early on in order to get YouTube to start working for us, rather than just banging our heads against the wall. And I know how that feels. I've done it myself, not literally, but in trying to grow a channel when it's just not happening, because ultimately we're not focused on the right areas. Experiment to find your niche. Focus on good keywords that are not general. Okay, use that tool I showed you, TubeBuddy. I'll leave a link to it. You can use the free version. There is a paid version. I use that on my other channel, which works wonders. But for a smaller channel like this, the free version has a lot of features that are going to help you to get some good keywords selected. And then finally, you've got to be making videos that keep people's attention in order to keep your watch time and average view durations as high as possible. And to finish, a couple of brief tips to help you improve your average view duration. Again, watch time is king. I cannot say that enough. First things, don't just record your video and upload it as is. It's got to go through the editing process. That means cutting out flannel, cutting out waffle. Every part of your video has got to keep your audience engaged. That's more likely to keep them watching and to keep your average view duration as high as possible. Second tip, I see a lot of people doing this. Not a good idea. Just get rid of intros. Don't use them. The audience retention for this video drops off very, very quickly within the first few seconds of the video. Okay? You're going to see that trend with most videos. It's just how people work. If they're not captured in the first 10 seconds, they're gone. Okay? You've got to do everything you can to keep them for those first 10, 15 seconds. If you can do that, you've probably got them for a lot of the video. Intros are the biggest way to lose people in those first 10 seconds. If you want to show your name, your channel brand, whatever, I would recommend you do it as an overlay over the first part of your video while the video is still going. Okay, so while you're talking, while you're introducing what your topic is, have it as an overlay at the bottom of the screen or something. But if you want to see more videos like this one on my channel, then please do consider subscribing. One thing you can actually do is look in your analytics on specific videos to see how many subscribers that video has given you. And that's another good way of just determining where perhaps the long-term audience is going to be found. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope that for those of you trying to grow your YouTube channels, you'll have some success after watching these tips. Have a wonderful day, folks, and I'll see you next time.